Yes. The iPad is balanced. The iPad is standing vertically. This is 143 of the Iliad. No. The Republic. $142. Then we should be quite right to cut out from our poetry lamentations by famous men. We can give them to the less reputable women characters or to the bad men, so that those whom we say we are bringing up as guardians of our state will be ashamed to imitate them. You are right. We shall therefore again request Homer and the poets not to describe Achilles, the son of Goddess, as sometimes lying on his side, sometimes on his back, and then again on his face, and then standing up and wandering distraught along the shore of the unharvested sea, or picking up the dark dust in both hands and pouring it on his head. With all the weeping and lamenting the poet describes, nor can we allow Priam, who was closely related to the gods, in his entreaties to grovel in the dung and implore them all, calling on each man by his name. Still more emphatically, we shall request the poets not to represent the gods lamenting with words like, "Ah, misery, me, the unhappy mother of the bravest of men," and etc. Well, we touched on a bit of that. Previously, we had. For my dear Adamantus, if our young men listen to passages like these seriously and don't laugh at them as unworthy, they are hardly likely to think this sort of conduct unworthy of them as men, or to resist the temptation to similar words and actions, and etc. PLO U Plu Ploucquet. Is he Godfrey Ploucquet? Godfrey Ploucquet. 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 Is it CQ or QC? See, look. For as much I try to emphasize the whole trajectory and flow of thinking, that thinking really doesn't depend on subject matter, and it doesn't depend on structure very much either. It just really depends on mental effort. Just the spelling of a word. Just the spelling of a word. Ploucquet. Ploucquet. Where did I learn this name, Ploucquet? Well, I went to a conference in Brazil, and this conference, when was it? Shortly after Jim Higginbotham had died. You know, these things I forget. When did he die? So anyway, this conference was 2013, and it was in Belo Horizonte and Ouro Preto in Brazil. The conference was based on Hegelian themes, and John McDowell, and it was kind of a big deal. They brought Professor McDowell down, and it's a bunch of the Italians from Padua. They have Hegel department there. Anyway, I was at lunch one day. Who was it? Paul. His name was Paul. He was Australian. Were there Australians there? What Australians were there? Anyway, I got to talking to him about Hegel and Gödel, and he starts talking about how, God, there was this scholar. Oh, what was his name? Anyway, it was this scholar that had really focused on the Hegelian aspect of Gödel. And he found passages from Gödel that really kind of reflected that Gödel was familiar with Hegel. And I thought that was just that much was worth the whole trip. And that was just a line from a lunch. That's how exciting this philosophy thing is. So he starts telling me about Ploucquet. And how'd that come up? Well, Metaphysicis universalis, characteristica universalis, or if you prefer, characterica universalis, Leibniz, anyway, Methodus calculandi in logicis.